Hey everybody, it's Adam from Encounter Wargaming, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to build MDF terrain by assembling step by step the Hive City Mansion kit from Tabletop Scenics. Let's jump in. So the Hive City Mansion is the newest kit in the Gothic Spires Hive City series by Tabletop Scenics. They're kind of like the terrain wing of Cromlech, who we all know and love for their cool orky conversion bits, add-on bits, and full-blown miniatures. And so we've known and loved Cromlech for a long time, and now Tabletop Scenics is supporting them with a whole bunch of new terrain. And so the Hive City Mansion is the newest kit available for this series. There we go. And so they've sent me along one to show you guys, and I wanted to build it up for you because, number one, just building MDF terrain can be a little intimidating, just in general. But number two, because, you know, it's a cool kit, and there's a lot of stuff going on. So it might help you build it step by step by just following along with me as you build it. So those are the two reasons. I think we should just jump in and start building, shall we?
So here's a couple things you'll need. You'll need your instruction booklet over here. You'll need all your MDF terrain. I've just got a damp cloth, a hobby knife, and some super glue. So first things first, you can throw these things aside, and what you want to do is just take your damp cloth and give a wipe down to all of the MDF pieces. They just have some dust on them from the cutting process and all that, and so wiping them down with a damp cloth will help get rid of all that dust and get them ready for gluing. So go ahead and do that on all your boards. So for step number one, you're going to need 3 of your tiles total to pull pieces from. You're going to need A, B, and C. Now, the way you tell the difference is every single one of these plates has a lettering system. And so they'll be lasered in right here with, along with the name of the kit, which sheet it is. And so this is A. So pretty easy. So all we need from sheet A is piece number 1. And so you can see the numbering system. If we just zoom in close right there, you can see the number 1 and so on. And they're numbered up fairly high. So there's a lot of pieces in here, but let's get going through it. Now, the way I cut MDF terrain is with a hobby knife, and so the way it works is most of this is already cut all the way through for you. And so like imagine it like this: a laser goes and it's like drawing this line, and eventually at certain points the laser just turns off briefly for like a split nanosecond and then turns back on right after, and so it leaves this tiny little piece where it's still attached. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera. There you go, you can kind of see it right there. Right? So the laser's on, turns off for that brief second, and then turns back on. And so it leaves this little bit where it's still attached. And so you just need to cut those. So very simple. You just come in with your knife very carefully and push down, and it just pops through that tiny little attachment. So you can just go around and cut through all of those very simply. It's a thicker piece. It takes a little bit more downward pressure than some of the thinner pieces. Alright, so is that all of them? Indeed. So I'm going to set A off to the side, and then I'll make sure this middle bit is popped out. Beauty. So that is piece A. This hole here, you can pop that piece out. Beauties. For the garbage. Now for most of your stuff, you do want to just go back over and check the spots where you cut and flatten them out. So I just use my hobby knife for that. Just flatten them out real quick. Some people sand, but I just find that's the quickest way to make it nice and smooth. Obviously be careful if you are doing it with a hobby knife. You do not want to slip and nick yourself. So there you go. So there's piece number 1. Go ahead and get off of B, get 2 and 5, and then off of C, get 3, 4, 6, and 7. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut all those pieces out. I'm going to lay them out here for you, and I'll be right back. All right, there's all the pieces cut out. So now we can do is start gluing them on. And one thing with MDF kits is it's always beneficial to dry fit. Compare it to the image, fit the pieces together, compare them to each other. Once you know where to glue, what sides to glue things on. So like here, I know now because of where the hinges are and how I'm looking at it dry fitting, I know that I don't need to put glue on this edge, that I actually need to put glue on this edge because that's where the contact is. And I also know that as I put glue on this edge of this, I know not to put it on this edge of the nubs, actually put it on the side of the nubs because that's where it contacts the other piece. So dry fitting, hugely important. You cannot build these kits without dry fitting. So I'm going to go ahead and just glue these on as is, like that. So now I'm going to use super glue. You can also just use white glue, but I want to build this thing up quick for you guys. So the super glue gets it tack a lot quicker, so I don't have to wait for the white glue to dry. But white glue is totally a valid option, so feel free. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of put the glue down right here. Awesome. And now I'm also going to put it along the bottom. Cool. Now we'll get some here as well. Put that down. Get some along the bottom of piece number 2. Beauties. Okie dokie. So now we can marry those 2 pieces together. Easily, just like that. Sliding it around a little bit to make sure the super glue doesn't stick to my cutting mat. Beauties. Looks good right there. So now I've got the windows laid out as well. And so what I'll do is I'll just take those and yeah, it looks like they go with, I got a little laser detail right here. So we're going to put the glue on this side and we're just going to marry them up against these windows right here. Now, we're going to need to do this properly. So what I think I might do is actually turn this around. There we go. What we're going to do now is stick these windows in here. So I'm just dry fitting it to see how it fits in there. And it looks like the laser cut line shows exactly where I need to put my glue. So let's go ahead and do that. And now, we want to be careful with how we put this on because we want it to be perfectly fitting in there. Alright, so just line up all those lines, hold it for a second, let that glue get a tack, and we should be good. Perfect. So we'll do the other bottom window as well for you guys. Glue on there. Beautiful. And line it up properly. Too easy. All right. Like that. So now we'll turn that. And we have 2 more windows. So a skinny one and a long one. All right. So these obviously go in behind over here as well. So let's do those real quick. All right, and we'll just take some time.
make sure they line up. Because this one's so long, I need 2 hands. Kind of prop it in there. Just move my fingers to make sure I'm not sticking to the piece, because that could totally happen with super glue. All right. Next window. Let's make sure we get it all lined up. Use those laser cut lines to line them up. And let's make sure it's stuck in. Beautiful. So now let's move on to the next step. What we're going to need is we're going to need to cut pieces out from sheets C, D, and one more from sheet A. So from sheet A, you'll need number 13. From sheet C, you'll need 14, 17, 18. And from sheet D, you'll need 15, 16. So you're basically cutting out pieces 13 to 18, and those are scattered throughout sheets A, C, and D. Let's go ahead and cut all those pieces out and bring them back, put them on the table. And we're back. And you know what? I realized we skipped right over to step number 3. So here's all the pieces for step number 3, but go ahead and actually, I'm gonna now cut out pieces for step number 2 as well. We are basically going pieces 8 through 12, scattered throughout templates B, C, and D. So let's go ahead and cut those out as well and be right back. And so we can just go ahead and continue to glue these in all around and continue to do the windows, sticking them in the back. And so it's essentially what we've been doing. So make sure you dry fit. Basically, if things dry fit in, we'll just skip ahead. You don't need to watch me do the same thing over and over and over. We can just skip ahead and do it. So yeah, that dry fits in nice. That dry fits in there nicely as well. And yeah, so let's just go all the way around. I'm gonna go ahead and glue all of these in. It's all the same stuff we've just been doing. Doesn't seem like there's gonna be any tricks. I'll come back if there's something complicated that comes up that might need some explanation. But other than that, let's just have fun with this thing. That is all the way through step number 3 done. So now let's do step 4 and 5 together, along with step 6. Because it's basically more the same, just laying the structure and infrastructure of the outermost walls. And so fairly simple. I'm just going to cut out all my pieces, lay out the walls in a line, and lay out the windows here, and we'll be right back once they're all out. And we're back. So I've gone ahead, I've cut them all out, but I've also glued the windows on, and I want to just glue these walls on together, because I have a feeling like, you know, 1, it would be fun to see it all come together, but 2, sometimes as this stuff completes all the way around, we can run into some tricky spots. And so why not? Let's just do it together. We're here, we're hanging out, so let's just do it. Now that fits in nice and snug there upon first dry fit. So let's go ahead, get some glue on. Yeah. Glue up this edge. And I've just kind of laid the pieces out in order that they're going around, so just for my ease. But I would suggest doing that too, kind of work in a nice, orderly, organized fashion. One, so you don't lose things, but it also helps speed up the process, because now I just grab and go. Okay, so this one might be a little more tricky. No, it should be easy. All right, sounds good. Just going down the side. And on this side of these tabs, beauties, all on the floor. All right. Cool. Keep chucking. This is piece number 23. Not that I'm counting, it's just labeled that. And on this this edge. So you can see you can get going pretty quick. And this will come together faster than we know it. All right, get this wall piece in. Now these ones I find trickier. It's on a corner. Actually, maybe come around like this. Around the corner like that. Now, I've been kind of inserting them all kind of like that. And I found on a lot of them they've given a little extra room. But this one seems like not. Let's see if I can't force it. Oops. Cracked off that wall edge a little bit. Mamo. What was that piece? Okay. So this piece cracked a little bit, but I think that it given me the leverage I needed to get them in at the same time. Oh. That's what I didn't want. Okay, a little bit of a finicky wall here. Here's what I would suggest. Don't do it like me and do them one at a time. I would suggest doing this part right here, both at the same time. And that'll help prevent the sticky situation that I just ran into there. So what I'll need to do here is just patch this up. So get some glue coming in the corner. So there we go. Yeah, if you do those both at the same time rather than what I just did, it'd be a lot easier. Or what you can do is the nub that sticks out right here, this part, if you just clip a little bit extra of that off the bottom, that'll give you enough clearance to slide that piece in. All right, so let's move along. Nice big wall piece here. Sweet. Let's get some glue going on here. All right, and can't wait to see this all done. Boom, beauties. Nice solid wall section. This is a great line of sight blocking piece of terrain. I wonder if this will block an Imperial Knight. We'll have to check the size when it all comes together. Oh guys, you see, like right here, where this one's on an angle, that's so that you can slide that piece in. If you just cut a little angle on that one that we had trouble with, that would have saved us a bunch. See, there's a small gap there. So I'm just gonna hold it, let the glue tack a little bit. Maybe that'll hold it together. A couple seconds. All right, let's get this last piece in. Dry fit nicely. Okay. So let's put the glue on this edge. Get some on the bottom edge. And this guy will slide in. Keep moving your model around so it doesn't stick down to your cutting board. Just in case some of that super glue is leaking down. Beauties. Alright, so now the last part we have is this curved bit. And so all three of those pieces that go there, they are the same, and I'm just wondering how they're gonna fit together, because there's no like cutouts to fit them together on the sides. So we'll just do one nice big dry fit here to see how it goes. Okay, so here's what I think the MO is. You kind of get them on the bottom, and then the inside corners are going to be touching. Okay, cool. Good. So what I want to do then is we'll get your glue along the bottom. Okay. And then we'll just get some glue along the corner of this edge, nice and thick. On the inside corner. And then we'll just put extra effort into making sure that it lines up corner to corner. Boom. Beauties. Careful. Now I'm gonna do this one next because this is a solid wall. Give that other one time to dry. Nice and thick. All right. All right. Here we go. Not bad. Oh, no. Stick into the floor. Can't tell where. Good. And now I'm going to put the glue on this piece on the inside edge on both sides. Nice and thick. Okay. Just doing some aligning and adjusting, because it really is at the top in the middle that I'm concerned about. Trying to like pull out the side ones at the top so that they line up properly. And there we go. I think we nailed it. So that will be tricky. Expect that to be tricky. Is there any other solutions other than just doing what we just did, I don't know. That might be just your best bet. So anyways, let's set this aside to dry, because this will need some extra time before we really mess with it. So set this aside to dry for a little bit, and let's come back when it's all dry and we'll go on to the next step. And I'm back from a nice little sleep, and I went ahead and I cut out the pieces for stage 7, 8, and 9, and I've laid them out here. And so basically these are the ramparts that go around the entire side wall. And I guess maybe ramparts isn't the perfect word, but it's like this little ledge around the entire building that makes it just have that much more dynamic and really make it pop. And so excited to put these on for you. Let's grab our glue and start gluing. So where should we start here? Well, let's start with a nice small one. So here we go. Now, I guess let's dry fit everything. Yeah. Okay, so you want to make sure that the short pegs connect to the brick wall, the long pegs connect to the thicker wall here, and that the 2 pegs are actually on the top side. So let's get our glue going. Some glue in these holes here, and then let's attach these guys. 1, 2, and then glue these guys right on top. So there is, there's that. There's a little gap there, and I imagine that it's for the brick wall that will go along this panel here to slide right in, kind of seal some of the gap. Now, the last thing to attach is right here. Stick that on, and there we go. Let's move on to the next part. Just get these little, let's do this one right here. So, super easy peasy. Put some glue dabs right there. Get the long ends plugged in. The long ends plugged in. And then maybe I'll put, so this is good. Make sure your nubby is on this side. All right, so beauty, just get that brick wall in there. Make sure that nub's in the right spot. Boom. Now, just get a little bit of glue in the right spots over here. Not really sure which side the glue is supposed to be on here, but let's just put it all over the place and see what happens. Okay, so this one is a little bit trickier. I think I may take the knife and just push it into place. There we go, beauties. So make sure you do that one when you're doing this one, so that you can move and wiggle and adjust and stuff, just to get it in the perfect spot. And there, went and touched it and messed it all up. Cool. Now let's get these in here. Beauties. It's actually not so bad. I thought it was going to be a little bit more finicky than it's ending up being. I mean, that one piece was tricky, but not so bad. So we'll just rotate a little bit and just keep on plugging away. So I've got the pieces lined up for this this side wall here. And so let's just do that.
long ends go in. Oops, got upside down. See how easy it can be to make a mistake on this. But you can see how if you just lay out a couple steps all at the same time, it can make life really easy, just a lot speedier. Because now I don't have to stop to cut out pieces. I can just go cut, 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 and then pop, 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 pop. Just pop them all into place. Now, for a brief second, I thought, oh, I wonder if it goes this way or that way, but with the orientation of where the pegs are, it'll prevent you from screwing up this one. Go in. There. There we are. Let's get the top bit. Okay, beauties. Now we have this curved part here, to which I have all the bits piled up here. Now these ones are all numbered the same, so they kind of just all go on. I'll do one, and then I'll let you guys do the other three. I'll skip ahead on the video. All right, so pop a little glue, pop a little glue. All right, and let's see how this goes. And I guess a little more glue on this edge here. Beautiful. Amazing. All right. Cool. So why don't you guys go ahead and do the other two, and then we'll come back and finish this corner here. And we're back. So those are all done, and I almost got ahead of myself. I started gluing in pieces for the next part. I already had them laid out, and I was like, oh yeah, I need to put it on camera. So here we go. So just starting to glue these in. Let's just finish off this this corner together. So let's get all of the placement pieces in, kind of the holding ones that hold it all together. All right. Beauties. I guess we gotta do these ones on this side too. Why not? Okay. Now, let's just shoot glue down the side of all these. Too easy. All right. I'm gonna put on these two same time-ish, because they have parts that go together. Divots there. Maybe same time's a little too ambitious. There we go. All right, now there, it just popped in place. Nice, there it goes. It's lining up nicely.
Let's get this one in there too. Yes. Okay, so let's get glue along the top. Cool. There it is. These corner pieces. Now make sure you get that one going the right way. Interesting. I initially laid this one out. Let's see here. We're having some competition for real estate back here. Pop it on. Let me get this one on just because the glue's drying. That's not how it goes. Turn it around the other way. Okay, good. And let's get all these on. Good. Now, we can fight with this one. So, we need to, let's just shove this in here. There, beauty. So what I did was I just took that piece, shoved it inside to help adjust it and pull it away from the wall because it's getting real tight. So that helped, that worked nicely. And there we go. Wow, this is starting to look real cool. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's coming together all the way around. We got this nice brick pattern. Lining the outsides. Great. So now let's go on to step 10. Step 10 is just completing this last little corner, I believe. And so let's pull out pieces 49 to 53, get them lined up and do this last little corner. So I got all my pieces laid out. I've already plugged in 2 of these bad boys. And let's keep trucking along. All right. And there. Beauties. So now you got this little one that kind of just completes that side right there. So let's get this little squeaker in there. And then throw some glue down these, get the bricks on. So there weren't too many complicated parts here, which is nice. Okay, so this may be a little bit tricky. Let's line it up. There we go, that wasn't so bad. Beauties. Just gonna take a look. Oh yeah, nice smooth joint right here with this one. Beautiful. Let's keep on trucking. Beauties. There we go. Let's get the top bits on there. And line up. Easy. Awesome. So now we got that all the way around. So looks like we are moving onto the roof next for step number 11. So this is going to be very exciting. Can't wait for it. Let's pop out pieces 54 to 58 and go on to that. And we're back. So I got the big roof piece here, and I got the step pieces cut out. And so let's get them on top. So first things first, let's get a bunch of glue coming up around the top of this joint. This joint. All right. Yeah. Okay. Good. Now it's got like these square pegs that peg into these ones sticking up. So there's a lot of contact points to line up here. So maybe a little bit tricky. So I might have to get right over top of the camera here. And hopefully, if we did things properly, it shouldn't be so bad. There you go. It wasn't so bad. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, next goes this guy. Okay, yeah, I see how that works. So, yeah, we'll just take this, just put a little bit of glue right there. Boom. And when I was popping it out, I popped the detail off one of the corners here. So let's just put a little bit of glue there. Take that piece and just glue it right back on top. The wonders of MDF super glue saves all. Uh-oh, don't stick to my finger. Alright, sweet. So now, just get some glue in that portion there. Some glue on the flat portion here. There's no details. Glue on this portion here, and then this piece also, the last one, it'll join in through the top here. Beautiful. So I have to line up all these holes. And this might be a little more difficult because this is where the that curved wall is. There. Oh, not so bad. Okay, we got our steps laid out. Easy. So next we are going to start putting on some of the brick facings on all these walls. So let's start cutting those out and getting them all lined up. And we're back. So I got a couple of the pieces cut out, and this is really cool. So I just want to show you something with these brick walls that they've done here. And so you see these kind of like darker pieces here look like Tetris pieces. You could leave them in for a more complete looking wall, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them up on their offer here to poke them out, and now you have this other layer of texture where some of the bricks have literally been falling out, and if you look up closely you see some of the like cracked ones, and this just completes it where they've like fully fallen out of the wall, which is very, very cool. Now you could even like take your hobby knife and like damage up some of these corners, right? To just complete the look, if you so desired. Of course, you don't have to do this, but this is the look we're going for, right? So we might as well. They've given us the option and ability. So let's complete it, what the laser can't do by itself. Cool. So that took an extra 10 seconds, just carving out little chunks, and that'll go a long way when we go to paint it there. Cool. So this is just a big flat panel, so let's just get a bunch of glue on here.
Basically do one big outline with some in the middle. Cool. All right, make sure the windows are all spaced out really well. Great. Yeah, that looks good. Cool. Now they do have this one detail piece here for this window. I like it, so let's get some glue on there. Do a little dry fit, fits nice. Cool. And you stick in there. Beauties. So you got this nice 1, 2, 3, 4 layers of texture on this window, making it look extremely, much more realistic than it would with most MDF buildings that are just one layer of detail. Maybe 2. Oh, and you know what's cool is now you got little pieces of brick that you can scatter up and throw in the bases of your minis too if you want. Super fun. All right, we got this one to do. Okay, that just goes in there, nice and simple. Don't need to mess around too much with that. And so let's move on to the next step. So cut out a whole bunch of brick wall pieces. It's starting to get a little hectic. So let's just take a little break and just glue them on. Take a little break from cutting them out, that is. Here we go. Start lining them up, sticking them on. Should be pretty easy and simple. This one's coming together real quick. Really comes to life when you start adding these bricks on. All right. Awesome. Cool. So let's move these out. Actually, always shave these inside the window pieces because there's the furthest layer out, so they're always exposed. Looks like I missed them on this piece. Great. Okay, so let's keep going here. You can see this comes together real quick. All right, now this one might be a little tricky because it's got to like tuck in there, but everything's been fine so far. This should be fine too. Cool. Notice a spot where it's like popping up on the top, so we might have to get some glue in there and hold it down for a couple minutes with the camera off. Not a big deal. We're going pretty quick through this thing, so I'm not surprised. So let's make sure I'm lining this one up perfectly. Take an extra couple seconds, get it right. Yeah. Beauties. All right, so let's turn this thing a little bit. Cool. Coming together very nice. It's looking dang sexy. All right. These windows are super cool. Make sure it's lining up straight. Yep. Good.
turn this completely around so we can see what angle we're working on. Great. Hold that. Cool. And let's do this. Sweet. All right, let's get some glue on this roof and see if we can't make it stick a little better. Okay, put a whole bunch in there. Just use my finger to get the squeeze out. Careful with your fingers and the super glue, guys. Use one of the, actually you can use one of the spare wood pieces actually. Get it off if you want. Put that right in the garbage so it doesn't stick to the desk. Alright, only a couple more faces without brick walls now. This is the wall we started on, we're almost all the way around, so that's beauties. Alright, so let's go ahead and cut out the rest and come back to this. All right, I've got the last of the brick walls here, and so let's glue them on real quick. I've also just taken my glass of water and put it on top of the building to hold it down, so I don't have to sit there and do that. I'm all about efficiency here in the studio and not doing more work or spending more time than is necessary. All right, glue all over that one. Cool. Let's make sure that tacks press for a second there. Beauties. All right. Let's get this guy going. Get a nice seal in that corner there. Now this is the one where the side piece was getting a little close to that wall. So I may need to jimmy it in there. Beauty, so pushed it right in. It's getting a little stiff, but I think we got her. Now we just have to do these three, and then we're done. Beauties. All right. Love it, love it, love it. And second last one. Done. And the last one. Cool. There we go. All right, so now let's go see what the next step is. It might be putting on the railings all on the top. All right, so those are all on. What I've gone and done is cut out everything except for the banisters that go around the top. Okay, and so what we're gonna do is we're gonna assemble all these little bitties, so like the staircase, the kind of like top floor, I don't know what you call it. I guess the attic entryway or something, or the, I don't know. The double doors that come up on the roof, the chimney, and then these mechanically bits that go on the side. And so we're gonna glue these all together, and the ones that match the building we're gonna add on, but the railings and these metal ones we're actually gonna keep off, because I'll paint those separate, and I'll show you guys some little tricks in the how to paint video for how to paint this stuff quick, just by separating these pieces out and painting them separately. And so yeah, so let's glue them together though and start adding them on. So let's start off with these little mechanically bits, and what we'll do is you just cut all your pieces out, grab the ones that go together in the set, and there we go, just a little bit of glue. Actually, probably too much glue. Wipes them off. And these other pieces. Make sure it centers up real quick. Beauties. All right. And there. Cool. And there. Beauties. Cool. All right, so let's leave this one off to the side so you can see that. Just got some depth there to those mechanical pieces, and you know, it's gonna stick on one of these walls here. I think it's the one on this side. It'll just like stick on there later, but we'll paint it separate so we can paint it silver separately from this building. And then right here, so this one is like offset off the building a little bit, and so these pieces going behind. So let's glue these on. Okay. Make sure they line up. Cool. Now we can set that one to the side as well. And now this chimney here. Now this is a very cool way they did this. There's a whole bunch of pieces that stack together. We've got to just glue them all perfectly together. And they had the foresight to get the brick on one side, brick on the other side, and even a giant hole in the top. So that's really cool. And then it'll just stick on the side of the building right here. Neat. Okay, so what I'll do is just take this piece here, get some glue on the one side in various places, and some on the bottom. Cool. And now we'll take the extra time to make sure we can line this up as seamless as possible on all sides. Amazing. Okay, great. Now we can just go right ahead and we'll get some glue on the other side of it. Line it up perfectly. Now there's like a smooth area where the laser turned off. So that's outlined on this wall here. So you know exactly where to put it. And bang, looks like we nailed it. Just want to make sure it's sticking down at the top. Good. Great. So that's good. Now what we're going to do is just turn this a little bit so we can work and get the rest of the chimney. Okay, great. So now we got 3 more pieces. We got 2 wide open ones and the brick face siding. So what I'll do is I'll start with the brick face and one of these, and we'll just glue these 2 together. It's a small piece, easy to wield, and so we want to make sure it lines up perfectly so that we get this nice detailing all smooth together here. So let's take one of those, get some glue out on it. All right, now very carefully, beauties. Wow. Must have just nailed it on the first go. So let's just move right along then. Put the other one on. All right. Cool. And then cool. Great. Now we'll just get a little bit of glue on the bottom as well so it can stick to the roof. All right. Now we'll just make sure this lines up right here as well. All right, beauties. So that's the chimney done. Let's push this off to the side. And so we got the front door right here, and we got all the pieces for the staircase right here. So let's pull those over. Actually, I am missing one piece for this staircase, aren't I? Am I? One of the side banisters. Let me go find the other one. Where did I put it? Be right back. And I found it. There she is. So the instructions say to glue these in the order of their number, which is actually a really handy piece of advice. And so that would be these guys on first. Oh, I found a little leaf detail. I need to poke that out. Go ahead and check those on yours too if you want. All right. And so I believe that the brick part is supposed to be on the outside. Yeah, that's what would make sense to me. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll get some glue on that side, and we'll get some glue just over there as well. Beauties. And now it gets one of these kind of just blank staircase. I guess it kind of like is like a jig for the stairs, so you can easily rest everything on top of it. Beauties. Let's do the other one. Great. And stairs. Cool. And now we continue to go in order of numbers. So, okay, so it says, so that means 106 would go here, and then the other piece would go into, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Great. So let's get a little bit of glue on either ends. 106. And stick that in there. Getting right up in front of the camera here. Okay, so now we need a 108, and there are 3 of those 108 pieces. Let's stick one of those on there. Oh, my 2-year-old is calling me. I don't know if you can hear that. All right, stick 108 there. So this will be super easy. And now I see why they want us to do it in order of number, because they just build one on top of the other. So I'll just go ahead and I'll just line this whole thing with glue on both sides. And then we'll just slot them all in succession after each other. All right. Do they? I think they offset each other actually by a little bit. Let's just get a little bit right here. Beauties. There we go. Now what I might do is just come in underneath as well and seal some of these. Ooh, that pushed it out. There. So what I'm gonna do is just get my glue dealio in here and just get some big globs in here to seal this all in. Just make sure they're nice and firm. Awesome. So that'll really help it stay together. Now that is cool looking. I'm super stoked about that. Look at that stairwell. That's great. Love it. Okay. So let's leave that to the side there, and we could just go straight into this piece right here. And so this is like a little doorway for the roof. Should be fairly simple. Just got these two slanted side brick ones. And so we can just easily slip some glue on right here. Let's do that on both of them. All right. There. And there. And now if I can hold this with one hand, what I'll do is I'll just get a little bit of glue here. This is a little bit flimsy to leave by itself. So it can stay together for just long enough. Beautiful. Okay. Good. Sounds like the wifey and the 2-year-old are having quite a time upstairs. Okay. Now we just need a little bit more glue on this part right here. And we can get the last piece to complete this guy. Going just like that. Beautiful. So now this guy will be sitting up on the top somewhere up there, being like a little entryway onto the roof. It also gives some sort of cover for anybody who may be fighting on top up here. We're back. So my suspicions were correct. Everything is done except for the railings on the top. Now I'm going to leave them separate so that we can assemble them after I paint them. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint them separate, just like in the last video I painted the roof separately because it was predominantly metal. And so I'm going to paint these to match. I'll paint these the silver, and I'm going to paint all these buildings to match my Adeptus Titanicus buildings. because then I'll almost have a full set of terrain that matches that Adeptus Titanicus stuff. And so I'm going to paint these bits metal as well, and then we can just glue them on top after. So to see the completion of the assembly along with all of the paintings, stay tuned for the next video to come in this 3-video series. So there you have it. There's the end of the building video. We've got it basically all built. We just have to put the railings on, which is great. And so I just actually wanted to do one last thing, just kind of show you guys a little size comparison. And so here's the mansion sans railings, of course. It'll just, once we got those railings on, man, this thing is gonna look killer. So we have this assembled, and now I just wanted to show you compared to the chapel. Boom, look at that. Like, it's massive. It's huge. I mean, this thing was pretty good. We did a size comparison with the Imperial Knight, but this thing is definitely massive. So I have a model here to use as a little size comparison. Like, it's huge. So there's the stairwell. This is a 40 mil base, and he sits right in that stairwell right there. No problem, right? And right, you can see this built, like the 40 mil base is basically the size of that window. So this is huge. That'll definitely block line of sight to an Imperial Knight, which is, I mean, you can't ask for better than that in a game of 40K, right? And I know I know it's just seeing like the pictures of these, I literally thought they were gonna be the same size, basically. But no, this one is like twice the size of this thing. So we'll paint this one, we'll paint this guy up to match this, and I can't wait to show you guys some battle reports with all this terrain on our table. So there it is, guys. That is the mansion from Tabletop Scenics, the terrain arm of Cromlech, and man, these guys are putting out some top quality stuff. You've seen it, we've unboxed it, we've built it now, so you've seen it all for yourself. Lastly, let's get to painting it. So stay tuned for the next video in the series. If you want to see me paint up some MDF terrain, we'd love if you just jump down there and hit subscribe and hit the little bell so that when the video comes out, you'll get a little notification from us to say that it's released and everything. And guys, if you want to support us here on the channel with everything that we do, jump down there and go to our Spreadshirt, where you get a cool Encounter Wargaming t-shirt with our logo on it. And also, the most important thing is jump down there to our Patreon page, where for as little as $1 a video, you can support everything we do here at the channel. So terrain tutorials, building, painting models, you know, and Jade sometimes does some conversions. We do lots of battle reports for all sorts of different games, and so get down on there on our Patreon page to help us keep doing what we're doing, so we can do more of this kind of stuff. And guys, I think that's it for today. So we will see you at our next encounter.
Like a monkey in a rocket on his way back home. Okay.